Hello, today is Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2018. And I just want to say happy Valentine's to everyone out there that's celebrating this occasion. It's a beautiful occasion. I believe, though, that Valentine's Day should be every day. And we really know the real deal with this occasion. We know that it's just there for America to make money off of the different commodities and things that they are selling. But I'm so glad that we chose to put a day aside that represents love. However, a lot of us are hypocritical of the love factor. And I'm not necessarily talking about loving your loved one that you're with, but I'm talking about loving the person that you don't know, or the person that you just disregard because of the color of their skin, or whatever reason that you hate that person for. And I'm so glad that you're following me, and I'm so glad that you are in one accord with me and believe what I believe, that hate will consume you. Hate will consume you. I'm saddened by some news that happened not too long ago, where an individual walked into school and shot, I believe it was 17 people, and out of that 17, 12 died, And to me, this is not a surprise. This is the beginning of many sorrows, because we are in a time right now where hate is rampant, where it seems like it's multiplying itself. And the gentleman that went into that school, if I can call him that, was full of hate and rage. We won't know what it is that made him hate the people like he did, but that hate that was brought down from generation to generation. See, a lot of us parents are going to be accounted for teaching our children how to hate when we should be teaching them how to love. And we are as guilty as white parents that teach their children how to hate, or black parents that teach their children how to hate, or parents that teach their children even how to hate their father. Just because you don't like the father don't mean you have to teach that hate to the child. Let that child find out the decision on his own. And it's the same thing. Just because you hate that mother don't mean you have to tell that child that your mother is no good. And half of the time, we're lying about it because we just don't want our child to find out the good side about that person. But hate will consume you. Now, when I was a child, we had what you call hand-me-downs, meaning that there were things that was handed down to me because we couldn't afford to go buy other stuff. And you can hand down physical things and you can hand down spiritual things. And there are people that are responsible for handing down hate. In some families, I would say a lot of white families, they will inherit the riches as well as the characteristics of their parents. So if their parents hate, the child is taught to hate. And the sad thing about that if those child's sins are held against you, and if you're going to be punished for those sins, then you're going to receive that punishment for teaching these children how to hate. And it's also the video games. The video games is what encouraging these children to go out and shoot things up. So we have to run our household strong. We have certain things we shouldn't allow the children to do, because the children will watch the video games, and when they watch those video games, they want to get more intense. So they go and buy a better video game where they're shooting up more people, and they want to get more intense because it just ain't real enough to them, until they get to the point where the spirit of that game has got into them so much that they got to make that thing real. And that's where they get the real guns, and they go out there and shoot real people. But in their minds, it's all a game. Just like in some of our minds, it is all a game. I can understand if somebody hates you because you did something to their family, but just to walk down the street and somebody walk past you and hate you because they don't like the way you look, or they don't like the way you sound, or they don't like that you sound like you have an accent from Georgia, or you have an accent from London or England or whatever reason that person don't like you. I don't understand how people can hate people for nothing at all. And I'm starting to think that there are Americans that are so bored and they're not doing nothing, that hate is just a thing to do. But it have repercussions. We have to understand that that God has given us a third eye to be able to distinguish between the haters from the non-haters. You have to have that third eye, because you may believe that your best friend is your best friend, and you can't pick up that hate because you don't have that third eye. When you have that third eye, you know who hating on you. They may be the fool, but you just playing a part of a fool. And by you playing a part of a fool, they don't know how wise you are to understand that I'm being hated on. I might play the part of a fool in an elevator and do all of that like they do to me. But at the same time, I'm not a fool. I know that you're hating on me because I can feel that hate. And you can feel that hate when somebody's hating on you. And the violence that happened today was a result of hate. The majority of violence that happened is a result of hate, jealousy, or envy. And even if a person robbed a bank, maybe no hate is involved in that, but there's some envy and jealousy. Maybe he want to have just as much money as somebody else. Maybe he's trying to keep up with the Joneses. But a lot of us don't understand the Joneses are broke. They used to be rich and used to keep up with the Joneses. Now the Joneses are broke. So who you going to keep up with now? So the hate is getting greater. And I'm not going to, when I say it's getting greater, I'll take that back. Hate is getting bolder. We haven't got more hate. Whatever hate existed in the 60s and 70s, it's existing now. It just was subdued. It was sugar-coated. It was covered up, swept under the rug. But now certain leaders that came into power has made it okay. Basically a law, his law, that it is all right to hate now. Why? Because they know he has their backs. So people think they have the right to become bold about their hate. So it's not new hate. This is not new hate that you're seeing. I don't want you to think you're seeing new hate. This is the same hate that George Wallace had in the time of Dr. Martin Luther King. This is the same hate. It's not a different type of hate. It's the same hate that caused a young boy from Money, Mississippi, Emmett Till, to be murdered. It's not a different hate. It's the same hate passed down from generation to generation. Smart enough to try to be covered up and facade, but it's the same hate. So now those same people that receive those same spirits are coming out and expressing their hate because they think it's all right. They think it's all right because we have a leader that has a fantasy of hate, and the majority of Americans think they're doing the right thing by following certain people, but what they're doing is contributing to his fantasy and trying to live out his hate. A lot of these things are not policies just because. These are policies because of somebody that they hate. A lot of these policies are put in place because of hate. It has nothing to do with trying to do things right or trying to just have all Americans together and send everybody else home. It's not that. It's the result of hate, of one man's fantasy that everybody's trying to live out. And what you saw today, okay, is not the end. Because these video games is getting these kids crazy. And if we don't do something about it, they're going to start living out their fantasies, because these games are not intense enough. So they want to live out their fantasies. And what we have to do is understand that it's going to get worse. We all glad because it didn't happen next to us, but it did happen next to somebody, another human being. So the same thing that can happen there can happen anywhere. And I'm telling you, I can feel it in the atmosphere that something is going to happen on the highway soon. Somebody's going to get out their car and they're going to start shooting people up on the highway. And you can remember that I said that, because once you understand, hey, you know how it's moving. You know the beginning of it, you know the end of it. So I'm Jay, PROSPA, voice of crying in the wilderness.